If you're still skinny fat, then most likely everything that you've been told is wrong. And if you keep following that same advice, you're going to stay stuck in the same body that you hate for years, maybe even forever. I know this because I wasted years training more, eating cleaner, and trying to bulk to gain muscle, only to end up in the same skinny fat shape that I hated. What finally worked was the complete opposite of this advice that I'd been told, and if you don't learn these lessons now, you'll never escape the skinny fat trap. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact tips that finally got me out of the skinny fat trap after years of going nowhere, why they worked when nothing else did, the real diet strategy to build muscle without ending up looking like a water buffalo, and how to get abs that actually show without doing a million crunches every single day. If you've been eating clean, smashing cardio, and trying to recomp your way out of skinny fat, I'll show you why that's kept you stuck and exactly what to do instead so you don't waste years like I did. Plus, if you wanted this turned into an exact custom plan, then grab my free AI Skinny Fat Fixer. The link's in the description below. For years, every time I tried to put on muscle, the same thing happened. I'd end up softer, fatter, and back at square one. I thought I was doing everything right, but the truth is that I was making a huge mistake before I even started. It's like building a sandcastle too close to the waves. You can spend hours shaping it, but every time the tide comes in, it washes away. That was like me with muscle building. I'd put in months of work and then watch it disappear, leaving me with nothing but frustration. The reason why this kept happening is because my body was never in the right place to actually build muscle. So no matter how hard I trained or how much I ate, I was fighting an uphill battle the whole time and losing every single time. And until I fixed the starting point, nothing I did in the gym or the kitchen actually even mattered. So how did I actually change this? So I got lean first before bulking. So I got myself to under 15% body fat. So then my body was primed to build muscle instead of storing fat. Then I lean bulked slowly, gaining no more than half a pound a week, eating high protein, so 1 gram per pound of body weight for growth. And I ate high carbs for performance and moderate fat, so my hormone production was in an optimal state. That's when I could finally add muscle without losing definition. But even with the perfect starting point and diet, I still made one massive training mistake that kept me looking the exact same. I used to think that eating clean was the best possible way to get in shape. The stricter I was, the better the results would be, right? Well, have you ever pushed your car so close to empty that it's running on fumes, trying to squeeze out every single last drop only to have it break down completely before you reach the petrol station? Well, that's actually happened to me once, but that's a story for another day, and that's exactly what my clean eating plan felt like. There's no flexibility, there was no enjoyment, and there was no way I was going to be able to keep at it long term. I'd stick with it for a while, but eventually I'd just crash out, I'd binge, I'd feel guilty, and I'd completely fall off track and make no progress. Diets that are too strict don't last, and you eventually break. You're essentially going to make no progress in weeks, months, or years, and you're going to stay stuck in skinny fat forever. And a good diet is one that you can follow every single day for the rest of your life. Here's what finally worked for me. I stopped chasing the perfect plan and trying to clean eat all the time, and I started focusing on what actually matters. And that is that calorie comes first, then you hit your protein intake at around 1 gram per pound of body weight, and that's literally it. You can still eat vegetables and fruit and plenty of whole foods, but you can also fit in foods that you enjoy as well. And that freedom will not ruin your progress, and it'll make it faster because you can finally stick to your plan without quitting. And if you're not sure how many calories or protein to eat daily, then my free AI Skinny Fat Fixer, that's in the description below, will help you with that. But even with the right diet and flexibility, there's still one big training mistake that many people make, and it can wipe out all of your progress, and I made it for years. For years, I couldn't figure out why my abs never showed, and it was because I was doing hundreds of crunches every single day. I was trying to do every single ab circuit I could find on YouTube in the desperate hope of trying to get abs. And guess what? Nothing happened. It didn't matter how hard I worked, my abs would stay hidden the whole time. This is exactly like trying to grow a plant by splashing water on the leaves, instead of actually just feeding the roots where you're supposed to water it. You can put in effort every single day, but if you're not willing to actually give it what it needs to grow, then nothing's gonna change. That's exactly what I was doing with my ab development. I was putting in all the work, but in the wrong places, and I was trying to chase flashy, like quick routines, ab circuits that were easy and quick to do, and nothing actually felt hard, which then didn't make my abs any bigger or any stronger, and therefore I didn't actually have any abs. Most ab workouts focus on volume and not quality, and the gimmicky 10-minute ab circuits that you find on YouTube don't adhere to the key principles of training which actually build you muscle. If the muscle isn't there, then when you diet down, it's not going to reveal anything because there's nothing to show. What finally worked with me was ditching the gimmicks and actually training the abs like I would train any other muscle. I started training to failure 3 times a week with 1 weighted crunch variation and 1 leg raise variation. I would keep the reps between 8 to 15, and I'd use progressively overload every single set, every single session to get progressively stronger. And that built muscle during my lean bulk. Then when I dieted down, I kept training hard, and I made sure that I ate 1 gram per pound of body weight a day, meaning that the muscles stayed around. And that's how I finally got my abs to actually show. But here's the thing, even with a solid ab development plan, there's one last mistake that I made that sabotaged my progress and made my results even worse. And almost every single skinny fat guy, I can guarantee you, is making that mistake right now. But quickly, if you want a shortcut that I wish I had, then grab my free AI Skinny Fat Fixer. It's in the description below. Everything I've just told you could be a complete waste of time unless you avoid the 3 biggest mistakes that I made when fixing skinny fat, and it kept me skinny fat for 3 whole years. Because here's the truth, even with the right diet and the right muscle building plan and the right ab training, you can still stay stuck, and I know this because it happened to me. I was doing endless cardio, I was trying to recomp my way out of a better body, and following advice that secretly sabotaged all of my progress. Watch this video next if you don't want to stay skinny fat for the next 3 years like I was. I was stuck in that trap. I was doing endless cardio. I wasn't tracking my calories, and I was trying to recomp, which is probably one of the worst ways you can go about fixing skinny fat, despite everyone recommending it online. So watch this video next because I'm going to break it down in full, and you can definitely learn from my mistakes.